Hi everybody, welcome to Tuesdays with Tildy. I'm Tildy Wahardo, and these episodes are being brought to you by Womanars. Our mission at Womanars is to make it fun and easy for you to find inspirational and educational content online, and to bring you some special interviews with some really special women who I like to call evolutionary women, because they're doing things their own way. They're making a positive impact in the world. Today we have a really special guest. Gina Sue is via Skype with us today from San Francisco, the Bay Area, one of my favorite cities. And Gina is a lifestyle expert, and she is helping people live their true life passion and purpose. She's helping people live holistically, taking a look at every aspect of their life, from finances to business, relationships, mind, body, spirit. I mean, pretty much the whole thing that Womanars is all about, helping women live the best life. And so Gina, say hi to everybody.
Hi everyone, thank you Tildy for having me, and I hope everyone enjoys this interview.
Awesome, thank you. So tell you and I, first I want to tell the story of how we met, because I think that the universe definitely brings people together for certain reasons. And you and I have sort of an unusual story, because I initially met you in San Francisco at a workshop, right? At the Impact Hub. So do you remember what that workshop was? I really even don't remember, but it was specifically for women, and I was there visiting and just happened to be there.
I don't know if it was the Badass Women's Club or if it was something about marketing or entrepreneurship, but we just hit it off, and I was like, what do you do? And that's what I did. And then we ended up in the exact same positive psychology program in San Francisco, which is crazy.
I know, and it was like, what, almost a year later? Or no, maybe it was like 3 or 4 months later that we were in the same positive psychology class, and I was just like, oh my God, that's you. Yeah. Absolutely. And so we're kind of kindred spirits, and you know, you gravitate towards the people that are your kindred spirits, and you and I are definitely that. So tell people a little bit about your personal journey, and maybe your professional background, and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am a life coach at heart. That is what I am trained to do. That is what I do most of the time. Obviously, there's the positive psychology background that comes with it. And then I also teach programs, and I also sell products that help people live, like you said, a holistic lifestyle that is totally their own. So the kind of hashtag for Gina Hart is make life yours. And that is what the whole brand of Gina Hart is about. The YouTube channel has self-development content. Jeff and I, my boyfriend and I, do silly videos about helping people just relax and be fun and be entertained. And then the products, I have yoga pants and jewelry and flash tattoos that help people express themselves in their own inspirational, creative way. So my journey was scattered all over the place. And I think that's one thing I say a lot to people is it's never linear, and you never can connect the dots until you get someplace and you're like, wow, I actually really love where I am, and now I can see the points going back to where it all started. So I started a YouTube channel in college for fun, and it was a lifestyle channel. I taught people how to make healthy oatmeal breakfasts and a 10-minute workout, like arms, butts, and abs, and it was just a really fun time. I also interviewed friends that I thought were really inspiring, and it was just like a mumbo jumbo of a YouTube channel of me just doing fun things. I graduated college thinking, like, I really want to have a sense of credibility. Like, everyone's going out into the world and working at these big companies. So I got a job at a tech PR company here in San Francisco. We did PR for Samsung, Facebook, Evernote, and I was walking around thinking, you know, I got everything under my belt. I'm working for these big brands, and like, that's how I'm going to make my mark. I felt totally like an empty shell. Like there was no substance, there was no meaning for me. I then hopped over to FitMob, which is a fitness and tech startup company, and felt like, oh, I have a passion in this health and wellness fitness space. This is going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Also felt like an empty shell inside. And it wasn't until I hired my first life coach and was totally inspired by the way she changed my mindset. She taught me about gratitude. She taught me about self-love. And then I just turned into this full throttle self-development nerd, became coaching certified, started coaching myself, and built this new Gina heart brand, which I'm totally loving and having the time of my life doing. So that's kind of the journey in a short bit.
That's awesome. So what do you see? Do you see, because I ask a lot of people that are in your line of work and stuff, what do you see with women in particular that's a common thread that they're all kind of in search of, or in need of, that they might not even know themselves, when they come to you?
It might sound super cheesy, but I think to be loved is a really big one. I think Tony Robbins mentioned something that there's two things that all humans want. I think the first one, I hope I remember correctly, is to, do something with your life, to do something important with your life. And the second one is to be loved. And I think women especially, we kind of put that aside sometimes and think, oh, that's too emotional, mushy-gushy, and we don't give it the importance that it needs. Yeah. But really, just by doing good work and have people saying good comments or just making someone smile, I think for women, makes a big difference, because it does have that emotional connection. And, lo and behold, we are emotional creatures. So that's something that I try to help people get more in touch with, for sure.
Yeah. So what are some things that you actually, what are some tools or maybe resources that you provide for women that help them do that?
Yeah. So this is very interesting. I have a program called Sparked, and it's a lifestyle design makeover. And what that means is I help a woman redo their house and reorganize everything and get rid of all the stuff that's totally unnecessary and actually like bringing their energy down, especially removing clutter. And then I help them do that with their computers, their iPhone, their iPads, like deleting all the apps you don't need. And then the makeover part is like, what colors totally light you up? What inspirational quote do you want to put as your background screensaver on your iPhone? I also help women do that with their wardrobe too. But most importantly, I do it for their internal mindset as well. So we go over core values and their strengths and their personal mission and vision in life. And once you get like a full kind of makeover with colors and designs and styles, and you kind of capture the essence of you, and your whole life is surrounded by that, you come home and you just like, you feel it, that really helps women like step into their space and be like, this is who I am, and I'm going to show myself, and I'm deserving of being loved and loving other people and putting my work out into the world. Yeah. So yeah, it's a makeover program.
That's awesome, because one of the things I did when I moved into my home, which I bought back in 2012, and I had been living in apartments, places that I rented, and I bought this home, and one of the first things I did, I didn't try and fill it up. I really took the time to sit in it and to dream of the place that I wanted to create, right? So little by little, and I was very intentional about the artwork that I put in my home that was either gifted to me by people I loved that were artists, or that had special meaning, or that I commissioned people to do specifically for me. So that every time I look around my house, it's the things that I love and that make me feel good, and that really provide that place of rest and reflection, I guess, and joy when I come and find peace in my own home. And that's so critical. I think a lot of times we forget that, that our home is our resting place, should be, that place of refuge where we feel safe and we feel rejuvenated. And I don't know about anybody else, but if my home is cluttered, or messy, or it just drives me nuts, and for some people that's perfectly fine. But for me, knowing myself, I really like the pieces of furniture I bought. I didn't buy them all at one time. I mean, I literally took my time, was very picky about the energy that they brought into the home, and just little things like I have a wine rack. I've always wanted a wine rack, but I was really selective, and I thought, well, I love to drink wine. I don't want one of those little cheesy 20 wine stackers, I want a big mama jama. So now I have a beautiful cabinet, with 120 bottle capacity that is not filled up by any means. Yeah, but it's exciting. It's exciting to have it, and every time I look at it, it brings me joy, right? So what are some pieces in your own home that bring you that sense of joy?
Ooh, well, I totally agree with you that the home is a sanctuary. And I have to say, when you're talking about that wine rack, it was just like the biggest smile that I've seen on you today. It's such a funny little concept, but it makes a difference, right? I kind of love this little corner, which is why I have it in the background of my YouTube videos. It's just pink and blue notebooks. There's gold pencils. There's this amazing gold stapler, which I just love.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
I don't know, it makes me feel important, which I love it. And then I have this cute little, I don't know if you can see it, but I can show you. There's a little 2 llama pictures right there from my trip to Peru. And so every country I travel to, I try to bring home some memorabilia and just to remind me of like adventure and that spirit of spontaneity. So yeah, those are a couple things.
So who has inspired you the most along your journey?
Oh, it's still the big ones, which Oprah will forever and always be like the most amazing.
Bow down.
I guess a more tangible one that some people may or may not know is Marie Forleo. And Marie Forleo is a online business entrepreneur that helps and roots for women in their own businesses. And watching her YouTube videos and watching her talk in a very vulnerable way about her own journey really helped me open up. And when I see her work, I'm like, I can see myself being there and doing something on that same scope. And she bartended for 12 years before she ever got to the point where she is now. And that honesty and that journey is so powerful for me. So yeah, if any of the ladies or gents that are watching haven't heard of Marie Forleo, she just updated her website and has awesome videos on YouTube. So I'd say go check her out for sure.
Yeah, she is actually one of my favorites too. And you're right. I mean, her authenticity and her transparency are unusual. As much as we talk about authenticity and transparency, very few people are willing to do that, in all its glory and all its fullness and sometimes its ugliness, right, of life. And the circumstances that we find ourselves in. But she is definitely one of them. I also love Brendan Burchard.
Yes, I know we talked about that. He's so great.
Yeah, because he's huge in positive psychology and neuroscience, and he combines all those things with the coaching that he does. So tell people a little bit about how you incorporate, and really first tell them what positive psychology has done for you in your own life, and then maybe what your goals are in using it, in coaching other people.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I first found out about positive psychology, I freaked out because I was always that super like optimistic one and thinking everything's going to work out. And, even if something really terrible is about to happen and we all know it, I'm, the one person who's like, let's think of some positive things. How can we make this better or make this a learning experience? And then when I learned about positive psychology, there is real life scientific research about optimism and about people who are thriving and why more successful people are happier and they find spouses that make their lives even more joyful, and they find more productivity and engagement in the work that they do, and it's all backed in science. And so when I learned that the psychology, clinical psychology, the type that is taught in schools and the type that we've known for many years, was totally one-sided. It was studying people with illnesses and mental disorders and things that were not working with people. Positive psychology is what is working with people and what makes people thrive and happy and have lots of joy. And it just fits so well with my personality that I'm like, this is the credibility that people are looking for. So I definitely share a lot of concepts of positive psychology in my coaching sessions. So they're really 80% coaching and almost 20% educational too. Because once you learn that being optimistic increases your happiness, then you can actually have some fact to hold on to and be like, I'm not just making up this positive spiritual idea. This is gonna work because that's how your brain functions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so you and Jeff have started doing these fun little videos, right? Which I love. I think the one I saw when you guys were playing Heads Up,
Yeah.
which I love that game. That game is crazy fun. So tell the audience a little bit about Jeff and how you and why really you started doing these videos.
Yeah, that's an amazing question because we are in riding the creative flow of where that could possibly take us. So Jeff is my boyfriend, or I like to say partner for life. We think boyfriend and girlfriend is too temporary of a word. So we've been together for 6 years, and we met my freshman year of college at UC Berkeley. And he's just totally, I don't know if you've heard this new phrase, but people are using it now, called partner in shine rather than partner in crime.
Oh, how funny.
Like in shine, I'm like, oh, this is so cheesy and life coach like. But that's what he is for me. Like, he is the most supportive, loving, caring, energetic person that I've ever met. And I seriously feel like, you know, this is my soulmate, and we just have so much fun together. So we've actually started out teaching relationship hacking workshops here in San Francisco. He's gone with me to Tony Robbins. He's come to our positive psychology course. So he's very interested in this whole self-development industry. And we just thought, besides putting out our professional, life coaching relationship work, that we would do some fun things and expose our vulnerable side, like how we like to hang out on our couch at home and the silly things we talk about. So we've been having this fun videos on YouTube. We did this like egg squeezing challenge where if you try to squeeze an egg with your hand, it doesn't explode. And just trying to show a different side of us, because that's the whole brand of Gina Hart. Like, you can be professional, you can be fun, you can be silly, but the most important thing is you have to be you. Right. Otherwise, we lose that sense of self, and we lose happiness at the same time. So Jeff and I are just taking our relationship to the next level, which is very public. Yeah.
So how did you and Jeff meet? And and I ask you this question for people that might be in relationships that that maybe they're not happy with, or as happy as they were before, or maybe they find themselves sort of in a the same relationship that's pretty much like everything it was in the past for them, or recurring situations that they find themselves in. So kind of tell people a little bit about your past dating experience, maybe, because I personally don't know what that was like. So it'll be interesting for me to know too, and how you and Jeff came to be, and how you maintain that healthy relationship. Because I have actually seen you both together, and you can tell that you guys really love each other and respect each other, and I think that a lot of couples can certainly love each other, but a lot of them may not respect each other the way, and honor each other really is the way that you both act toward each other. So kind of give people a little bit of an idea of your past, a little bit of relationships, and what makes this one so different and special.
Well, one thing is when I've heard people say that, people are like, you two speak so kindly to each other. And, I'll drop something and he'll pick it up and I'll say thank you and he'll say you're welcome. And they're like, it's so formal. But it's like, we mean it. Like, thanks for getting that for me. And you're welcome because I love you. So it just came really naturally. But I will say, I was one of those girls who had a full-on checklist for the people I wanted to date. And it was so descriptive. Like, had to be at least like 6 foot tall, or like 1 or 2 inches under is okay, but nothing more than that. Blonde or brunette, white, which was like this big criteria that I have, and like on their way to a modeling career. It was so specific.
It was so easy too, Gina.
Yeah, like this is my list.
Dave is pointing to himself like, she's talking about me.
Here I am.
I love it. As you can tell, there was nothing about personality and nothing about what I wanted to accomplish in my life and how I wanted this person to support me. In fact, I did find someone like that and totally fell down the rabbit hole of losing myself. Like, I started acting like a very different person. It was exciting at the time, there's that adrenaline, but then over time you realize, where have I gone and where have my values gone, or my morals and things that are important to me. So after coming out of that relationship, I was totally heartbroken. Like, I thought this was my first love. Like, I am in love when I didn't really yet know what that was like. So when I went to college, I was literally like, boys suck. I'd rather be a lesbian. Time is for me. And when people say, like, just be yourself and do you, and the person will come to you, that is 100% what happened to me. I got myself involved in a couple dance teams, and I was doing what I loved. I became a choreographer. I started my own club on campus about art for social change. I started designing for a fashion runway event on campus. And then Jeff's senior year, he was the martial arts captain. So he's like the big shot who runs the wushu championships. And I was a dance team choreographer. His senior year, he decided to learn how to dance. And lo and behold, he was probably the first straight guy in our dance team. And asked me out on a date, and I was like, well, you're not super tall, you're not white, you don't have blue eyes, but whatever, because it's about me right now. And he was just so nice and friendly and kind, and had that hopeless romantic vision about him that I just went along and literally let all the walls down and just enjoyed myself. And now it's 6 years. That's really what happened.
That's great. That's great. And just so that everybody knows, because I know they can't see Jeff, but Jeff is pretty damn hot. Just because he doesn't have blonde hair, blue eyes, or is 6 foot tall, he is definitely a hot guy.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I love him inside and out, and like most beautiful man in the world that I've ever met. So for the people who are looking, like it's different.
Yeah.
And it sounds so typical, but it's like once you know, you kind of know. Yeah. And that's the best that I can describe it.
Would you describe it as you being in and just being okay with yourself? Just, kind of finding yourself again, and then being okay with just, like you said, dropping your walls, not only dropping your walls down, but being so confident in who you are and where you are that you attracted that same type of person that was very comfortable in his own skin.
Yeah, totally. When you said that you've seen us together and we really respect each other, it just reminded me the time where he found me was when I was truly respecting myself. And when people come into our relationship workshops, I can almost tell whether or not the couple's gonna last. A lot of times people come in couples, and when someone doesn't know themselves well enough, you start to be like a piece of clay, and you can mold, which is amazing. But if you mold too much while you're with someone else, you can never become like the beautiful sculpture that you're meant to be. You'll always just be that wet blob that's just kind of, changing shape. And so I think I had a very solid shape when Jeff found me. And I always encourage everyone to find themselves. And then when they get there, the whole world opens up to you. Yeah.
So what's in the future for Gina Hart Lifestyle?
Ooh, so I've always had the same vision. I don't think it's ever changed. I tell people if like Martha Stewart and Oprah Winfrey like clashed and had a spirit baby, that would be me. And so I want to build Gina Hart into an educational and inspirational brand, a personal brand very much like OWN, the Oprah Winfrey Show, that shares vulnerability and inspiration and creativity, but also has this other side, which is the part that's rooted in me, the lifestyle design side. Yeah. So like Martha Stewart has products for your home and planners and a whole stationery set. I just want to incorporate the external and the internal, the beauty that we see on the outside and inside, to create basically a movement, like not just a personal brand, but a movement that helps people make life their own. Yeah. And I think that's what we're missing, is this vision of like, you do you. Whatever you need, whatever you want, that is exactly what's meant to be. And that's where I want the brand to expand. And of course, the YouTube channel. So if people want to find me on Gina Hart on YouTube, let us know what you think of our silly videos.
I think that's probably, you talk about you doing you. But a lot of times, if you ask that to women, they really can't answer that question. Like, who are you? Or, so what are some questions that you ask women in particular that will help them maybe, or some answers, some examples of answers that are more in tune with really who we are, because I can say, well, I'm Tildy Wahardo. But, and it's a question that stumps a lot of people, because I know it stumped me. Sorry, Dave, didn't mean to tap my mic there. his head bounced kind of like, No, because it is a very difficult question to answer sometimes when you ask male or female, who are you? You can easily say, I'm Tildy Wahardo, but that's really not who I am. I now know that I'm an encourager, I'm a connector, I'm a teacher, and I'm great at all those things. And I can say that with the utmost confidence, So what are some examples that you'd like to give women, that kind of to help them peel, because you're just not a mom. You're just not a sister, I mean, you are so much more than that, and you were created to do so much more than that. So tell people how to kind of uncover that.
Yeah, I actually want to ask you a question as like an unconventional.
Oh, sorry, this is just me asking you questions. Just kidding.
Tildy, what is your favorite color?
Oh, that's hard. It depends on my mood, but I have normally 3. I have red, orange, and blue, the bright blue.
And do you know why they're your favorite colors?
Oh my gosh, they evoke energy and passion and trust. Yeah, those 3, happiness.
Yeah. Yeah, that's such a simple one, but I do love to use that one because I have studied color theory before. And when somebody says what their favorite color is, it's not just because because oranges are oranges and I like orange, but they actually have like an emotional connection with it. And like red and orange, they're fiery and they're energetic, and you are totally that. And that's more than just your name. So the simple things like figuring out what someone's color is, and if they are surrounded by that color in their homes and in their life, can really bring out what that person is. But the one exercise that you are probably familiar with that I do with every single one of my clients in our first coaching session is the core values. Yeah. And for people who don't know what core values is, it's a very simple exercise where you've narrowed down like hundreds of words down to 3 words that are your values. Either you've had them in your past and you want to cherish them and honor them, or you want to incorporate more of this into your future. So words are trust, spontaneity, adventure, happiness, vulnerability, and for some people it is connected to their industry. So maybe it's education, creativity, the arts. And for some people, which I totally want them to embrace, could be power, respect, wealth, either in the financial state or just feeling wealthy internally. And when someone can bring it down to 3, like you can bring 20 people together in a room and they won't have the same 3 core values. Right. And that's really helpful. So I love core values.
So what are your top 3?
Passion, impact, and freedom.
Nice.
And freedom is one that's really helpful when I talk with clients who are confused about whether they want to stay in a corporate job or jump into entrepreneurship. For me, freedom is such a big part of, working in my home office and being able to travel whenever I want. And the other important thing, having impact on mine, is I always tell people that they have to be very specific with their descriptions of their core values. Yeah. Because maybe for you, impact is impacting 100,000 women. Yeah. And then maybe for one of my clients, impact is helping their company earn an extra 10,000 K this month. Right. It's very different. And so my impact is probably much like yours, is reaching a larger audience and helping inspire them in their own lives.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, and I'm so glad you brought that point up about our core values maybe being the same word, but having a totally different meaning. Yeah. Like one of my big things was, my number 1 was justice, right? Ooh, and yeah. So, and that's really, until that came up, I thought, why justice? That makes no sense, but it absolutely makes perfect sense when you look at what I'm trying to do and believing the core things that I believe, that every woman has a voice, and seeing the injustice for women throughout the world and wanting to be a voice for that. It's the core of who I am and why I'm doing what I'm doing. And then the other two, we're all transcendental on gratitude and, just the art of being, really, the joy. So, I mean, in all those things, if I am not aligned with doing those things and really becoming more centered and having fun in life, I think because I'm such an empath and I care so much, it can be a downer if I'm not outdoors and enjoying, the beauty of nature, and recentering myself because I'm aware of all the injustices in the world, and which can be kind of downers. But then taking care of myself and making it a point to do the things that I love and that bring me peace, joy, and make me feel loved.
Yeah, you bring up such a good point because I'm sure when you've had those like downer days, this is what happens with most of my clients. I can tell them, go to your core values. Which one have you been missing?
Right.
I'm like, oh my God, I haven't had spontaneity. Like I haven't. And then I'm like, all right, go outside, do something spontaneous.
Yeah.
And it could almost be as easy as a quick fix. But that's what happens when people are in jobs that they're unhappy with. It's day after day and nothing changes. Therefore, nothing can get better. So, yeah. And like joy and justice, oh my gosh, that is Tildy. So you and so women ours.
And so hard sometimes.
Why do you keep reaching for the really big, difficult thing?
Because we're called to do it. That's why. If you love what you're hearing and seeing here with Gina at Gina Heart Life, please let her know. And let her know that you heard it here on Woman Ours. So be sure that she takes extra care of you when you do call her or reach out to her or just say thank you for the information that she's provided here today. So Gina, tell people how they can get in contact with you.
Oh, thanks so much, Tildy. So Facebook is Gina Heart, and Instagram, the handle is at Gina Heart Life, and heart as in I love you, heart. And then YouTube as well. It's also Gina Heart on YouTube. And the best way for people to get in touch, they can head on over to my website, which is www.ginaheart.com. And you'll see the shop page there. You'll see the link to the Sparked program. And then most importantly, I just want people to engage with me, to write comments, to tag Women Ours, tag Gina Heart Life, and let's have a discussion about relationships, about passion, about doing the hard things in life, because I think we're both trying to build this community of having bold conversations with each other and supporting each other to do the big things that we're meant to do.
Absolutely. And I know you're meant for big things.
And so are you. You and I one day are going to be on a huge stage together interviewing each other.
I believe that.
I just feel it. I
got chills when you said it. So, amen, sister.
Got this.
Well, thank you so much. If you wouldn't mind telling people why you said yes to being an interviewee for Woman Ours, I would really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, for people who don't know Tildy, like, you are a firecracker of passion and inspiration. That's like probably the best thing I can use to describe you. And I think you bring so much genuine excitement and enthusiasm for the space of women. We all know, like, women is a big thing now. Everyone's doing women this, women that, but you're giving women a voice. And the most important thing is you're so rooted in technology and doing this in the modern day. Like, people want to watch videos, they want to feel someone's presence, and they want to hear other people's stories. Womenars is the best platform, if you're a woman or a man, to understand what women are trying to do nowadays, which a lot of us are going into the business of ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's a game changer right now. Everyone's trying to build a personal brand. So Womenars is a place, and I said yes because I love you. You're such a great friend and supporter. And you've been building this vision consistently with more and more interviews every week. Tuesday with Tildy's, live on Facebook. You're just very present. So if anyone gets the honor of being invited to doing Womenars with you, say yes. It'll be the most fun ever, like I've had today.
Thank you, Gina. Really appreciate it. And we appreciate you guys tuning in to Tuesdays with Tildy with Gina Sue, the lifestyle expert and coach from San Francisco. Be sure and connect with her in all the areas that she's asked you to connect with her, and also give hashtag Womenars, hashtag Gina Hart Life, right? Gina Hart Life. And be sure and connect with, if you like the interviews and the content that we're producing at Womenars, please connect with us on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook page, Twitter page, and all the other social media outlets that we have. We'd really appreciate your support, and we'd love to hear what you think about the content that we're producing, and to share it if you think that it's worthy of sharing. So thanks again for being with us. I'm Tildy Guajardo, and I believe in the power of women.